I'm telling you the details of this case because I want to make it very clear. These are the kinds of things that happen in Genesee County. They happen in Flint. They happen in Michigan. They happen around the country. People that have teeth, that are filed down to points, that are threatening to rip out the throat of victims. It happens. And that's the case I'm going to tell you about right here. I'm going to take you through actually the whole process because I want you to be aware that grooming started this tragedy, and then it led into being barricaded in the house. It led into multiple sexual assaults over a 3-week period of time by this guy right there. Michael Barajas, a 36-year-old male that filed his teeth down to points. Here's what happened. On the week of Thanksgiving, 2022, a 20-year-old victim who was kicked out of her house, was walking on the street, had not had a shower or had hygiene in several days. A vehicle pulls up, sees the vulnerability, and offers a shower, food, warmth, and she accepts. Gets into a house very similar to this. And as soon as she walks in, she's now barricaded. And I tell you what they did. They locked her in a door in a room after they tied her to the bed. We've got the rope, we've got the bed, and then we got these kinds of locks. These locks right here, with the lock on the outside, this is the kind of room that she was housed in until she was rescued on the 8th of December this year. In fact, even if she wanted to get out, let me tell you what happened. Not only locked the doors, but check this out. They said she couldn't. They screwed the windows shut. They screwed them shut so you couldn't even get out of the windows. Because this guy used this opportunity to not only sexual assault, but have people come over and traffic her as she was tied forcibly to the bed while they assaulted. And we're talking multiple suspects, which is why this is still an open investigation. But as this happened the week of Thanksgiving, and she was barricaded in a house, she was trapped, she not only tried to escape once, not only just twice, it took 3 times for her to try to escape. The first one, she ran out of an open door at the time of an exchange. They chased her down, they shot at her and dragged her back in the car. The second time, she actually ran away and they dragged her back. The third time was because of a medical emergency, and it wasn't for the fact that Hurley Hospital, once again in all our hospitals we have SANE nurses, they recognized this and she gave a statement, and Ghost was deployed on the 8th of December, which was just last week, and he was arrested. It gets worse. If it can't get any worse, it gets worse. Our victim had a medical emergency where she was carrying a baby. Our victim has been traumatized. We have aftercare that's being developed for this victim. The whole scenario was so bizarre because Barajas threatened that if she didn't do everything that he told her to do, that he would bite her neck and rip out her throat. I know this is crude and I know it's disturbing, but I tell you these details because I want it to settle in that Ghost is here to find people like this, hold them accountable. That what we see just doesn't happen in one other state or in that country. It happens right here. But also it started with grooming. And grooming is part of this whole process. It started identifying somebody who's vulnerable. It started by identifying what the need was. They fill the need, and then that's when they trap them in. In fact, there's a fantasy that Barajas did. He made this victim, an adult victim, write a letter, write a note, and describe him as daddy. And we've seen this with other ghost investigations, and I don't want to get for the sake of evidence, but there's statements in the letter that was handwritten, forced to be written by Barajas, describing him as her daddy, a 36-year-old male that was trafficking her out. That is not a relationship. That is not something that people need to be in. That is a complete violation of one's innocence, and certainly is what Ghost dives into to find. I mean, these are these extreme cases that I wanted to bring you. Barajas was arrested. The sheriff's office and Ghost team members raided the house. As soon as we got the information from Deputy Sturza, we were able to assign Ghost team. Detective Walker is the detective that was assigned. We arrested Barajas in the hotel, in the room that he was at. He came out, hands up. He's now in jail. Prosecutor Layton, when we took the case to him, it charged with CSC. It charged with kidnapping, charged with home invasion, charged with CSC1 multiple counts. The amount of charges, the felonies that we stacked on him, allowed him to be charged, and also he's in jail on a $250,000 plus cash bond. So he's in jail now. But these multiple count felony warrants, they don't even touch what happened to this poor victim. And so I say this to you, we are still actively looking into this case. We know that this guy with those teeth and that guy that matches the description that is under arrest, there's more out there, because people came to that location and they started what they thought was going to be a victim that may never have a voice. Well, we gave her a voice because of the bravery that the Hurley Hospital staff and this victim did to come forward and tell the story. It's bizarre. This guy, he's a monster. And if you look at the teeth that are filed down and the threats of ripping out a throat, then I will say no more. But I bring this story to you because I want you to take advantage of knowing what Ghost is and why we're there and the grooming process, and be educated. When you see somebody walking or you see an interaction, call 911. If you see something, report it. Make sure that we're there. Make sure another police agency is doing it, because this girl tried to escape and it didn't happen. And that's why I'm telling you the story. It's houses like this and other houses around that we need to be aware of, but it's not just here. It's everywhere. And so I bring this to you for that reason only. Again, I know it's disturbing. Have conversations about this case. Talk about it. We'll continue to follow through with other suspects that we have. If you have information of anybody that was associated with that guy, then you call 911, you call the sheriff's office, and we'll follow up leads. We're doing our forensic investigations now. The victim is in aftercare. She's being well cared for, and we're going to push this case forward. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Share the message, and I'll see you next time.